There's wacky misconceptions about unconditional love. Like, if you love someone unconditionally, it means you put up with all of their bullshit and you just can't like set any boundaries to save your life. That's what unconditional love is. It means you just like mesh together and fuse with this person. You become one organism and you tolerate everything. That's like super wrong. That's like, it's like such a misunderstanding of unconditional love. So you can have unconditional love for someone and set boundaries. You can, like, if somebody slaps you in the face or is super abusive or toxic, you can wish them well. So you can unconditionally have love, kindness, compassion towards them, and simultaneously set a boundary to never see them again. You can block their number, move countries, go to the moon. You can do anything. If you love them unconditionally, you can set those boundaries. It's not a hindrance, like loving someone unconditionally, to your own well-being. That's just not how it works. Like, it's not a sacrifice to love someone unconditionally. It's a very, very common misconception, probably comes from like the Christian traditions of just kind of like, you need to like die for your sins and something along those lines. Like, it's love doesn't mean sacrifice in that traditional way. It's not a sacrifice to your own well-being. And so this might not make too much sense. So I'm going to explain it even more clearly with better details and like a concrete example. So let's give the example of someone who's in a kind of toxic relationship. So they might think that unconditional love is just putting up with just these horrible things and still loving the person anyways. Like, they might be like super toxic, manipulative, abusive, and they're like, no, but I love them unconditionally. Like, I'm gonna keep loving them even though it hurts. Like, I'm doing a noble thing. It hurts, but I'm gonna love them because I love unconditionally. So this is a subtle trap that the ego is playing. What's actually happening here is the ego is gaining some sort of gratification from this toxic relationship. It might feel familiar, like based on the past traumas that this person has had. It might feel like their home life when they were growing up as a kid. Maybe their parents were abusive or something along those lines. And so they've set the conditions up in a way where they're reliving that past trauma in a kind of sick, twisted way. They're reliving that trauma, but they feel like they're at home. They feel comfortable. So the ego is gaining gratification, and it is conditional. Like, the conditions have been set up. It's just like, you're going to be abusive to me, but sometimes you're going to love me, and I'm going to try and love you. And that's just what's going to happen. And as long as that's happening, I feel safe in a weird way, like feel safe in a weird way. So if you did have unconditional love, like truly in this situation, what that would look like is you would feel comfortable within yourself first and foremost. You can't love someone unconditionally if you have fear for them, if you need anything from them, if you need validation, approval, anything. Basically, like anything you need from the other person hinders your capacity to love unconditionally. And so you're in this state of well-being yourself. You're like, okay, I want what's best for this person, sure. But this isn't what's best for them. It's not what's best for me either. And this just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm suffering. I'm not able to look after myself with this person around. Like, you look at the situation in a more objective fashion, because again, you're not bound up in your ego at this moment. And so you think to yourself, okay, this clearly isn't serving either of us. Like, I'm enabling his toxic behaviors or her toxic behaviors, and I'm also being abused, and it's not fun. And so you look at the situation and you're like, okay, I think the best decision for me is to leave because this isn't serving any of us. And so you set a boundary. you see, like, you don't want, like, you don't hate the other person. You're not angry towards the other person. Like, you obviously might feel those things, but it's not primarily coming from a place of anger or hatred. You're just looking at the situation. Maybe you even understand why they're like this. They've been through, maybe they have a traumatic a childhood as well. So most likely that's the case. And so you look at these situations and then you're just like, okay, I'm just going to bounce out. You set the boundaries. It's difficult, but you do it anyways. You wish the person well. They probably don't understand. They might be like shouting at you. They might be super angry. Panic might settle in because you're leaving. All of these different things. And then you do it anyways because you have love for yourself. You have love for the other person and you're fundamentally okay. You're operating from a place of safety and security. I'm okay. You're okay. It's going to be okay. I just need to set this boundary. And so it's coming from a very different place. So that was a bit ranty. It was a bit long-winded, but I hope I got the message across that unconditional love doesn't mean no boundaries. You love them, you care about them, and you also care about yourself. You also love yourself, and you can also distance yourself from this person or whoever you're speaking to. A last final point is, unconditional love is not dependent on you being there for that person. So it doesn't actually matter if you're in their life. You wish them well, even if you're nowhere to be found, like you're nowhere to be seen, you still wish them well because they are just like a part of you. This unconditional love, like where it really comes from, it's a spiritual form of love. It's not romantic in nature. It comes from a deep confidence and a knowing that you are whole, that everything is one. And so you love everything because it's all part of you. This is where the essence of unconditional love is coming from. So that's everything for this video. If you want help with working on life from this kind of more holistic spiritual perspective, you can check out my link down below in the description. And for now, peace and love.